Hello folks, today I have a challenge for you. Can you win a game of Polytopia without upgrading cities? You may think that it would be easy to do this challenge with Elyrion and Sanctuaries, but you're mistaken. Upgrading your cities allows you to train more units, get your economy going, allows you to get explorers and super units. Is it possible to win a game without any of that? Watch until the end to find out. If you like this video, you can like and subscribe for more epic challenges. Now, let's get going. Alright, looking at this game here, we are playing Elyrion just to get rid of some of the hardest parts of this challenge. My opponent here is playing Imperius, we are playing 256 continents, as always. Really nice map. Nothing too spectacular in terms of balance. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. They are pretty close to most of the ruins. So we start with a pretty weird opener. Instead of pushing my unit with a Polytar, I decide to just train another warrior because I can't really do anything in terms of pushing, and if I convert any of these Polytars, then I would have gotten a population on purpose, which is defeating the challenger. We fight that ruin really early on. It gives us fishing, which is one of the only few technologies that we can use. But what we really want to do is get a whole bunch of sanctuaries. And sanctuaries are one of the only couple of ways that you can increase your economy without actually upgrading your cities. So that made it kind of possible to do this kind of challenge, and otherwise it would have been really impossible to do any of this. So we get going with all of these sanctuaries. You can see that they are going to be the backbone of my entire game plan here. We see this other ruin, pretty nice. It still hurts to see how incredibly slow my economy was, even though I had pretty decent sanctuary spots. It is so much better to just upgrade your cities in combination with this. It is actually insane. So we get moving on to the water. We do get one population, but we can't do anything with that. You see that ruin there. This ruin gives me an explorer. Pretty okay. We don't meet our opponent yet, which is kind of unfortunate because that is another way to boost my economy for a bit. Now we do meet them. We get population from the ruin. That was not intentional. I couldn't really do anything against that, so I don't count that as a loss. But looking at this economy, it's actually terrible. Get a workshop. With some sailing we can maybe get going. With all of these Polytars, they should be a pretty decent way to get into a navy. And my opponent is already on the water, which is pretty bad for us. Hold on! The most epic Polytuber Battle Royale is on its way. Stay tuned to see some of the coolest Polytopia players battle it out. Prepare for smart moves, betrayal, and excellent fun. Now back into this video. But they decide to go away, which is pretty weird. Don't think that that's the right play in the situation, but good for us, we need that. What I start doing is just getting onto the water, and I need to lay out my units. I need to really plan out because I don't have a lot of cap in my cities, so I can't train that many units at all. Like for instance here, I have 2, 2, 2, and 3, which is just 9 units. Whereas my opponent probably has all of their cities leveled up a bit more, meaning that they can train way more units than I can. They get their rubber cooking, and at this point in the game I really thought that it was over. But I keep fighting. There's no need to give up at this point yet. If they start sieging my cities, sure it is over, but not yet. And a lot of people would have actually tried to kill this rabber before the other unit. And I think that that is just wrong. If you can remove the support that thing is actually the one that is getting value. The rammer is value as well, but a rammer is just not as valuable in this case, because it is through this scout that they would be able to one-shot kill my units. So, and our rammer would be in a pretty good situation still, so this is what I mean. You need to hit it with the scout, then you can hit it with the rammer. And my plan here was to get port pinning, because that is one of the only few good ways to do it. Also, I get aquatism. Aquatism is really overpowered in situations like these, because it just gives me so much more capability to fend off. It only dealt 4 damage to my rammer. And if you're pretty early in the game still, I'd say this is mid-game. If you get aquatism and your opponent doesn't have navigation, that's a really nice way to compensate for all of the things that you're lacking. Once again, I tried to go for the scout rather than the rammer. And here we see a problem, a really big problem to be very honest. And it is this Juggernaut, and I don't have giants. I don't have any good way to deal with this. I'm losing this battle. But I'm not giving up yet. We can get rid of that with some skills, I would say. This economy is still so bad because I can't upgrade my cities. It's such a hard challenge, but it was really nice to do something a bit different. I get my first bomber here, and that bomber is going to be essential in taking control over the map. As you can see, we are still losing the battle. It's really cool battle actually. But what I decide to do here is flee away and try to capture some of these villages so that I can gain control over more of the map and get more units cooking, because this is really hurting. They decide to go for the landing to do the same thing as I am trying to do here, but this is a very central village and it's really important to gain control over them, but not like this, because now it's just a sitting duck for my bomber. They also get very aggressive on this side of the map with all these rammers, but what they don't know is that they are going to get punished for that. And now, if you take a look at the game, I have control over the water, and I'm not going to give that up really easily. So they spent their stars upgrading their city, getting a city wall. That's all well and good, but that doesn't work with a giant. And I know that they have defenders, but still, for now it's not that useful. We capture one of the first new cities. It's going to be really important to keep expanding rather than stagnating all of the board state. Wouldn't really be helpful. They get a real nice sneaky hit on my bomber over there, but we can get rid of that. We move forwards our bomber and get going on this section as well in order to get more advantage. We can clear up more of these scouts. We can hit on all of these units over here. And now we can actually kill that. Really nice, really simple. Like I said, I am not going to give up my control over the water. As long as I have it, I can keep control of it pretty easily. Especially since I have aquatism, which makes it really easy. Pretty fun to take a look at these scores here. As you can see, my opponent is in a pretty significant lead in terms of score, but that is due to the fact that they are upgrading their cities and I'm not. I'm not allowed to. I was talking about this one. Really interesting to see how that score doesn't reflect any of the board state. One of the only few things that a lot of people still get wrong. Scores are pretty cool to keep track of. See, catapult by the way. Scores really cool to keep track of, but they don't mean much in terms of who's actually winning. They get another explorer. We get one population from that accidentally, so it doesn't count. We can kill that rammer again. We can pin this port. Get another bomber in. Pretty nice. They can unpin their ports, but it's nothing too spectacular. Cost them quite a lot of stars. We pin this port now. And we even move in our bombers to take control over this city in a couple of turns. We see an archer. My opponent was getting a lot of technologies, and I was not, because I couldn't use most of them. I would say riding's pretty useless, roads is useless, free spirit is useless, chivalry is pretty useless. All of these are pretty useless. Maybe spiritualism would have been a good call, but I guess, I don't know. So take a look at all of these stars I have here. I'm not using much of them. Here my opponent just decides to give up, which is really interesting in my opinion, because they weren't exactly losing. They weren't winning, but they weren't losing. As long as they would have kept upgrading their cities and spamming units, they could have easily taken control over all of the map again. Even though I had a pretty significant setup here, it would have taken a lot of time still to get going. But I think that is it for today. I hope y'all enjoyed and think about this challenge. Maybe you should do it as well. If you did, make sure to share that with me in the Discord. And if you like my challenge here, you can always like and subscribe if you liked it, and maybe comment for a new challenge as well. Alright, I will see you in the next one. Have a nice day.